Hello, I'm Brandy. This is Hound Dog Hollow. I'm not sure if I said that too early. Hello, I'm Brandy. This is Hound Dog Hollow. And today we're going to be getting ready for the new moon in Gemini. I'm getting a little bit of a slow start today because we did have, we are hatching chicks right now. And so we got two different, I just forgot that there was a dog in here. We have two different little brooders in here, and it's like 90 degrees in here. But they need supervision. So basically, mama hen, I bought chicks not realizing that one of my hens was sitting on eggs. And then by the time I realized she was sitting on eggs, we had chicks. And so that's totally fine. She could raise chicks herself. The problem is when she okay. Thank you. The problem is when mom abandons the chicks. So if they're not born in a time together, mom will get tired of waiting and leave the nest. So we got one beautiful chick outside with mom, and the rest are in here because she abandoned the nest. And so after candling them, so basically you take a flashlight in the dark and you put it underneath it and see what's inside. There's a lot of embryos that are ready to be born, and so we got them in the heat lamp, and two of them, well, one's completely hatched, the other one is struggling. But it can take up to 24 hours, and it's kind of exhausting for them. They have their little yolk sac, so that can, hi Misty, that can keep them alive for a day or two. So it'll be okay. We just got to keep constant supervision, and that has literally, I have been doing that all morning. So I'm glad I prepared for this a couple days in advance. So basically, we're going to follow the general thing that I always do. And I have my, it's still early and not anybody's here yet. So if you want to get your supplies, which is whatever it is that you write on, I write my Book of Shadows, a pen. I have my decks that I'm going to talk about. I have my almanacs that I'm going to talk about, and I have my books. But thank you. They're about the same as usual. So let's just get to the right page. To help me kind of stay organized, this is my latest Book of Shadows, and I've never shared this before, except for my life. So I've got my natal charts and my husband and son's natal charts up front, just because it comes up, especially because I'm into astrology. Planetary movements for the next 4 months or so. Lunar movements for the next 4 months or so. And so the new moon, there's going to be peeping today. There's newborn chicks in here, so pardon my peeping. The new moon on the Pacific Standard Time is going to be new moon in Gemini, May 22nd at 10:38 a.m. I've got some other segments here. I've been talking about rethinking the wheel, as in the wheel of the year. And so I've been making personal notes about what's happening each turn of the year on my own property to make it more significant to me. And then, of course, I have full moon, which is what we did last time. And then we have I did a last quarter thing. I've got a dark moon thing here, and I'd like to do that at some point in the future. So stay tuned for that. This is the new moon in Gemini page that I've started. And so basically, I like to start by saying, when is it? And we've already said that it's May 22nd, new moon in Gemini, 10:38. The next thing I do is kind of start going through the resources that I have available. I'm going to be drinking kind of often because it's really hot in here. Okay, so websites that I've mentioned before and that I like to look up is Spirit de la Lune, Tamed Wild, The Witch's Box, The Witchcraft Way, of course, Pinterest, Google, and the moon phase website. So it tells me that's where I'm getting the information for my area, when the moon will be in what phase and what sign at what local time. So that's been really helpful. And the books that I have are the same books as before. So I have, I want to go back. So for the websites, they don't release the information this far in advance. They'll usually start sending emails out and putting things on their blogs about 2 to 3 days before the SFAT. So just stay tuned for that. You can sign up for their mailing list, or just, the day before, whatever, go to their blog and it should be there. So I like to check out Solitary Witch. I know, judge if you need to. And see what she has to say about this particular moon. Oof. I need to get a better bookmarker. Right now I'm using a paper clip. Pew, 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 pew. So, the new moon is Gemini. The basic energy is intellect, awareness, agility, adaptability, and multitasking. The zodiac color association is orange. The primary element is air. Suggested magical operations: rituals and spells for any type of learning or research. Spells to finish the old and move on to the new. To help you juggle the many projects you are working on at once without failing, or to find a new car or a new job. Spells for any of the mental arts, including meditation, learning a divination tool, pathworking, and telepathy. Magic for learning to understand and deal with siblings. Avoid trying to pack too many magical operations into one ritual, and be careful of self-denial. So I'm going to write that down on my page here, because that does have some stuff that I think resonates with me. Let's see. I really like the so learning and research. My fingers are dirty from the candle. Okay, learning and research. I'm not really, school is actually over for me for a few months, so that's pretty good for me. Finish the old and move on to the new. Help you juggle the many projects you're working on at once without failing. So that's kind of nice. Juggling projects. I don't really think of this as release. Finding a new car or job is not applicable for me. Meditation, divination, pathworking, and telepathy. These are all good ideas. I don't know if I'm going to use any of them this thing. I kind of have already an idea, but I like to see if it's reinforced by what I'm looking at. So then I have here, of course, a favorite, complete book of correspondences. And so let me just double check that I'm in the right section. Because it's kind of arranged in segments. All right. Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini. Gemini, May 21st or 22nd through June 21st or 22nd. Symbol, well, you already know the symbol. Solar system, planets is Mercury and Uranus. Summer is the season. The day is Wednesday. The runes are Dag, Ewats, Odal, Thorn, and Tyr. The element is air. The energy is Yang or directive. Colors are blue, brown, green, orange, pink, red, silver, turquoise, violet, white, and yellow. The numbers are 2, 3, and 6. The chakras are the heart and the throat. The tarot card is the Lovers or the Magician. The trees are beech, chestnut, hawthorn, hazel, horse chestnut, laurel, linden, oak, walnut. The herbs are bergamot, clover, dill, fennel, iris, ivy, lavender, lily, lily of the valley, marjoram, mugwort, peppermint, snapdragon, vervain, or yarrow. Miscellaneous plants are anise, eyebright, horehound, mandrake, and wormwood. Gemstones and minerals are tree agate. I just got that in a box. Cool. Alexandrite, aquamarine, cat's eye, chrysocolla, citrine, emerald, fluorite, howlite, jade, jasper, green jasper specifically, lodestone, moonstone, moss agate, quartz, clear quartz, sapphire, serpentine, tiger's eye, topaz, and watermelon tourmaline. That sounds really pretty. The metal is mercury. The sea thing is pearl. Birds are the rooster, the eagle, the parrot, the raven. Animals are cattle, especially the bull, and deer. Goddesses are Artemis, Inanna, and Shestat. Archangel is Raphael. The gods are Apollo, Dumuzi, Enki, Hermes, Janus, Krishna, Mercury, Odin, and Thoth, or Thoth. The issues, intentions, and powers are adaptability, balance, change, cleverness, communication, community, creativity, emotions, intelligence, knowledge, the mind, money, relationships, and truth. That's a lot. It's a lot to work with there. I'm actually going to take this off. It's pinching me. Okay, so let me see there. Adaptability speaks to the juggling of projects. And then balance, of course, change, cleverness, communication, I really like. Communication, cleverness. I like community. I also think of Gemini as a sign of friendships. Creativity is really good. Not so much emotions. Intelligence and knowledge, yes. And I'm going to put relationships. So I'm just taking notes. I don't have my intention set in stone yet. So this is actually an exercise that I do. Hello, homie, go away. I do for my own learning as well. So Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. And basically, a lot of the things are the same. I'm just like torn. So the new moon or the waxing moon, we've got you can do things for beauty, beginnings, darkness, because they lump the new moon and the dark moon in together with this book. But for specifically new moon and waxing, I would think beauty, beginnings, divination, illumination, improvement, optimism, psychic ability, rebirth or renewal, relationships, self-work, stability, well-being, wisdom, abundance, attraction, beginnings, business, courage, creativity, divination, empathy, friendship, growth, increase, inspiration, knowledge, love, luck, money, motivation, passion, power, protection, psychic ability, sensuality, strength, and wisdom. So, I mean, there's a lot there. We're moving on to the honeymoon cycle, actually. So the moon will come through in June. So this is going to be the honeymoon. It's going to be about abundance, love, marriage, prosperity, and relationships. So that's pretty good to know as well. I don't think there's any celebrations until the next one is solstice. So, I mean, that's helpful. If you guys have any comments, I would love to hear what you're thinking so far. I'm definitely not set in stone with anything yet. Kind of up in the air this moon cycle. I had a very good ritual this new moon last year because we were camping and it was wonderful. I get my absolute best work done in the forest. So that's pretty important to me. Let me look what we have here. So Gemini. The sun enters Gemini around May 21st and remains in the sign until about June 20th. Although this can vary a day or so from year to year, in many parts of the northern hemisphere, flowers bloom profusely now, spreading their pollen far and wide. In a similar way, Gemini's energy spreads ideas far and wide, pollinating our minds and cultures. Do ideas blossom in your head now? Do you seek out people with whom to share your ideas and interests? Are you hungry for knowledge? Because Mercury, the god of communication, rules this sign. You might choose to read, write, study, communicate with friends, or engage in other intellectual endeavors right now. So that's really, really cool. So let me see. Boop, 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 boop. So seek out others to share knowledge. So that speaks to friendships. Hi, Leanne. So basically reading, writing, studying, communicating. Those are all good. Hi, Rochelle. Those are all good activities for this new moon. So just to recap for everybody, we're getting ready for the new moon in Gemini. I have a little page in my Book of Shadows. So this is my Book of Shadows. And basically I say the new moon in Gemini is going to be May 22nd at 10:38 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. So what is the 22nd? The 22nd is actually Friday. So Friday, this upcoming Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And, oh, thank you. I was just talking about websites that sometimes put out like a new moon forecast that kind of gives you ideas and information are like Spirit de la Lune, Tamed Wild, The Witch's Box, The Witchcraft Way, Pinterest. Obviously, Pinterest has great stuff. You can always Google new moon in Gemini, or if you have an idea, kind of like expound upon that there. And the moon phase website is how I find the moon sign and phase in my specific town, which is helpful for me because almost every almanac is not in Pacific time. Then we talked about books really briefly, and I was just saying what their suggestions were. So Solitary Witch was talking about like juggling projects, communicating with your siblings, letting go of the old, and the correspondence books saying it's a really good time for communication, cleverness, community, creativity, relationships. And this is the Modern Witchcraft Grimoire, and they have what I just read was do you seek out people with whom to share your ideas and interests? Are you hungry for knowledge? Mercury, of the god of communication, rules the sign. You might choose to read, write, study, communicate with friends, or engage in other intellectual endeavors right now. So spell work they recommend for Gemini is this mentally oriented sign supports the use of affirmations, incantations, and chants in spell work. So I like that a lot. I'm taking notes too because I'm gearing up for the thing. So affirmations. During this month, you can also benefit from studying magical traditions and or sharing your knowledge with other like-minded people. Your ability to communicate may be sharper now, so try contacting spirit guides or use telepathy to send messages to other people. This is a good time to receive guidance from oracles as well. So I'm hearing like do some divination. I'm hearing if you want to scry or communicate with your guides or connect with a guide, do that. If you wanted to teach or have a group, that's a great time for that. Really good time for communicating. Let me see. And then specifically for this lunar cycle that we're starting, is in the Druid calendar, it's the Hawthorn, and in this one, it's the Mead moon, that's basically, so it'll be the full moon in June. So I think of it as the honeymoon. And it's one of my favorites because bees are a little totem. And so right now the bees will start getting really active, and I love bees. They're so great. I did it when I was a kid. I was really afraid of them because when I was 5, I left my soda on a picnic table. And when I came back for it, I went to drink and it was a bee, which poor little guy, he stung me in the mouth and probably passed away. And me, 5, was just like, ah. But in the 30 years since, I've come to love and appreciate them. So the honey, mead, planting, or horse moon focus on strengthening relationships of all kinds. Love, family, friendships. This is a good time to do spells to enhance communication and domestic harmony. So that's really where I think it's at. If this time of year is ideal for building those bonds, and we know that communication is like really the bedrock, then it speaks to me that this new moon is about doing some kind of working to communicate with others, to build relationships with others. Maybe if you are wanting to learn something, divine something, or teach something, also really good workings for this specific moon. So that's really exciting because it's kind of like, given everything that's happening in the world right now, we're in a prime position to, and in desperate need of connection, sharing knowledge, having healthy debates and exchange of ideas, and getting closer to the ones we love. So it's really great. It's really a good time. So the new moon is a time that encourages beginnings. Are you looking for a new job, a new romance, a new home? The best time to start anything is during the new moon. As the moon grows in light and seemingly in size, your undertaking will grow too. So Gemini, communication, learning, mental pursuits, and short trips. Something you should know, that if you want to, so like I said, when I make an intention for the new moon in Gemini, I'm making an intention that's going to take 6 months, and it'll come to fruition on the full moon in Gemini. That's my personal opinion. Some people like to do it, new moon to full moon, a 2-week period, just a quick working, and that's good too. But what you should know if you're going to do it that way is there is a lunar eclipse. There is a lunar eclipse on the full moon that goes with this new moon. So on June 5th, there'll be a lunar eclipse when the full moon is in Sagittarius, okay? And then next month's new moon will be a solar eclipse. So a very, very powerful new moon. It'll be a good time for us to really get into some ritual work because it'll be extremely powerful. So that's really good energy to be working with. Keep that in mind in the future. This one, still a good moon. We're going to be doing something hopefully to harness that energy of Gemini and gets it done. So next, I like to look at my almanacs. This one I just look at really briefly because it has amazing articles. I don't use it so much for its almanac pages though, because they're just really brief. They just got little notes or things, and so the one right before the full moon says to take charge, trust your feelings, try saying things differently, ask why. And so that's a really good one, especially when we are living in an environment where there is a lot of disagreement and very heated, disrespectful debates. If somebody's trying to piss you off, don't get mad, get curious. Why is this person doing this? What are they thinking? What do they have to gain from upsetting me? Or if you're the one feeling upset, and this is something I've been working on, because usually I'm not so patient, but if you're the one getting upset, try to ask yourself, why am I getting upset? Why am I disagreeing? What is it about this that makes my hackles rise? Is it because I don't agree with the information? And if so, what do I actually believe? Is it because of the presentation of the information I find disrespectful or not appropriate? In which case, a learning lesson for myself to be like, maybe not communicate in that way. So get curious, ask why, assume good intent, and really like try to navigate what's happening, because sometimes, oh yeah, Leanne, it's a lot less jail time for getting curious than punching people. Okay, another thing they say is let it out, learn a trick, and then we're into the full moon. So that's their recommendations for the next 2 weeks from the new moon to the full moon. So this one's basically the same. I use this one as a planner. I've already read all the information, and it was great information. I like it a lot. I'm going to buy it again. But it's not something that has information that I use with the moon cycles. Now, this one, on the other hand, if you want to really work with the moon, follow the moon, and really work with its energies, this one is really great. So for the 2 weeks, sorry, there's a lot of peeping. There's newborn chicks in here. For the 2 weeks from the new moon to the full moon, basically is, hold on, let me find the page. It's gardening by the moon. It's got a lot of different segments. All right, here we go. A Gemini moon. A Gemini's moon energy is masculine, dry, barren, and airy. People are more changeable than usual and may prefer to follow intellectual pursuits and play mental games rather than apply themselves to practical concerns. This sign is not favored for agricultural matters, but it is an excellent time to prepare for activities, to run errands, and write letters. Plan to use Gemini moon to exchange ideas, meet people, go on vacations that include walking or biking, and be in situations that require versatility and quick thinking on your feet. The ruler is Mercury. The impulse is versatility. The rules the shoulders, hands, arms, lungs, and nervous system. So I'm going to make a couple notes because I really felt like, so preparing for activities, I really like that. Running errands. So for me, that speaks to like getting your ducks in a row. I really, really like that. Versatility is not my strong suit. Hello, peepers. What are you doing? They're peeping. Sorry, guys. They're peeping. Okay, hold on. It has an aspectarian, but I'm not really. Aspectarianism is hard. It's like back in the day, you would go to a fortune teller to pick an auspicious day for you. And this book has formulas where you would pick the auspicious day, but it's too much work. I just try to make my own luck. And I try to pay attention and work with the energies that I know are present. So, all right. Thank you, Rochelle. Thanks for coming. Have a good night. All right, so Friday, May 22nd, the new moon in Gemini. It's an excellent period for writing or communication projects. Since Gemini rules writers, self-expression could be a solace. The moon, emotions, and Mars, action, are in Pisces at odds with one another. Passive aggressiveness could be a theme. Yeah, I do. So if you are an Aries, something complicated comes easily. How nice. If you're a Taurus, others' restlessness could irk you. Power down. If you're a Gemini, this new moon could initiate a year-long project that brings more responsibility. What could this be? The turning point on November 30th, which I believe is the full moon in Gemini, but let me double check. Yes, November 30th is the full moon in Gemini. Cancer, others may want you to be satisfied with less, but stick to what you deserve. Leo, you can meet someone you wish to charm, but remember the difference between roaring and purring. Virgo, curiosity could be overwhelming, but remember that what Pandora found in that box. Libra, teach yourself something new. Libra and curiosity is without peer. Scorpio, solidify communication with a partner. Be firm about your needs. Sagittarius, feeling distracted? Give yourself a pass. Capricorn, find opportunities to entertain others and indulge the child within. Aquarius, a writing project, long overdue letter, question mark, finds you mentally alert. Pisces, laughter heals. Are you being too serious? Oh, July 23rd. This year? Leanne, you're going to get married on July 23rd this year? I don't know. It's going to be a waxing moon, so it should be a good time. It'll either be in Cancer or Leo. So I'm going to take a little bit of notes about that. So, writing or communication projects. So try not to be passive aggressive. So good information. Oh, Leanne, that's really sweet. All right. So I think that's it for this book. This is a great book, though, for what I was looking at. And then I like to always, this one I also use as a planner. It's my Spirit de la Lune 2020 Lunar Planner. It's great. It's got lots of information. And it says for this upcoming new moon, so the honeymoon, the monthly gem, Bumblebee Jasper. Oh, I need to, God, Interstellar Aura on Facebook is a really nice page, and they have an amazing sale on crystals that I have to go over there and buy, but I was supposed to do so many things today, and the first thing when I woke up was the chick problem, and they need constant supervision, so that's what I've been doing all day. So Leanne, these are not, I don't make anything off of this, but because it's so late in the year, what they have left of these are super discounted on their site, and they're still good. I like the information, so it might be worth checking out. So the monthly gems are Bumblebee Jasper, Fluorite, Honey Calcite, Ocean Jasper, and Pearl. So like really beautiful, like good energy stones. That's really exciting. So it has a little space for you to do your intentions and some reading notes. If the new moon reading and honeymoon is just like honey on top spread. The mom didn't sit on the eggs, and so they're hatching. They're hatching. It takes a little bit. It takes a long bit, actually. So there's some spread ideas here. But the astrology report is the new moon joins the sun in the nurturing and grounded sign of Taurus. Yes, please, can you check on them? They're peeping like peep, 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 peep. And especially this one over here.
This one?
Is that the one that's peeping a lot?
Yeah.
Check on that one over there. Is he waking up? He hasn't lifted his head yet. Can you hold her for a little bit? She's peeping and peeping. She hears me, but she can't see me, so she's like not wanting to be quiet. Sorry. Hi, Lori. Okay. Are you bringing her over? Here she is. She was born this morning. She was the first day we picked up the candle, and she popped her little face out right then. So I was like, ah. Okay. Thanks, Dad. She's really active right now. Okay, I'm sorry. The new moon joins the sun in nurturing and grounded sign of Taurus on the 22nd of May, highlighting a need to nurture and build up yourself and your loved ones. I think she meant Cancer. It joins them on Cancer. Cancer is a sign that represents, wait, no, what? The new moon's not going to be Taurus. Uh-oh, did this have a mistake? Hold on, let me see. I think she meant Cancer. Because they're not going to be it's going to be a new moon in Cancer, so I'm not sure. But let's just read it. for what it is. Taurus is a sign that represents determination and sustained effort. Take a look at where you might be slacking and adjust accordingly. Relationships and the communication may again come up this week. With both the sun and the moon in Gemini, you might feel like studying and learning new things that might spark your interest. You might also feel pulled in many directions this week. Anchor this energy by sticking to one or two subjects or studying with someone you love. Learning something new with someone you enjoy spending time with is a great way to build both social and neuron connections. Both the sun and the moon in Gemini have us wanting to explore our connections with ourselves and with others. Take time to do a little bit of both this week. Don't forget to set your intentions tonight and check out the blog post for the entire new moon energy reading. The weekly gem is rutilated quartz. Rutilated quartz has hairs of the mineral rutile and is an amplified manifesting stone. This helps you get your shit together and manifest with clarity and confidence. Call your desires and intentions into the physical realm with this stone on this new moon. So that's pretty cool. I think that basically the main energy is like learning, studying, communicating, just getting all those really good air magic things out there. I have a video coming out tomorrow about air magic. Last month obviously was plant magic, which is doing great. I mean, a little bit unhappy because we had so Oregon has we say 12 seasons. And we had a really cold week this week. So one day it was 93, and then the next day it was in the 60s again. Yeah, I do. I keep them forever. I have the last few. Oh, it's not going to be a live. It's going to be a regular video. And usually those come out at 7 a.m., but it might be later because I am way behind because of the chicks. So we'll see. And it's this, I'm trying to do a practical magic series every month with a different type of magic that you could do. And so I'm starting with the elements, but there'll be things like kitchen magic and protection magic and stuff in the future. But really, I want to keep it as simple as possible so that anybody can do it. And yeah, that's where we are. Yeah. So I've got a lot of ideas right now for this upcoming moon. So something for me, the next step is journaling and kind of seeing if this new moon is about starting a project with these energies, where do I need help in these energies? What work could I do for these energies? What do I wish was going better involving these energies? And then I journal about them. I do the divination last, after I've set my intention. Some people like to do the divination before they set their intention to kind of help them if they haven't really decided what it is that they want to work on. I've already got, so reading all of that information, it gave me good ideas about what I want to do and think about, what I would like to have happen. And the practical magic is tying in because it's practical, because it's what I do. It's something that I'm going to do. It ties in because I think in my personal opinion, and of course everybody is different, with relationship and interpersonal magic, it's really something that you have to put out there, but you can't control the other person in the relationship or the other people that you want to receive your message. You can only control yourself. So it would be good to have an intention, or it would be an idea to have an intention of I'm going to be doing a lecture and I really want to not be afraid. I don't want to feel like public speaking, so I'm going to make myself a little amulet to carry with me and I'm going to feel confident. Or I'm going to speak clearly. I'm not going to stutter. Or You might say, I've got a big test I need to study for. I want to do my GRE. I want to ace finals or whatever. So I'm going to do a working for that, as well as the actual work that's required, which is the study work. And I've talked about devotional work in the past, and sacrifice. And basically, the magic is just the first part. The setting the intention is just the first part. I don't believe that any manifestation happens without the devotional work. So if you want to manifest a good grade, that is a good working. That is something that would be awesome, but you still have to study and learn. I don't think it's going to happen from osmosis. That's a good way to set yourself up to fail. That's just my personal view. So those are things that I'm thinking of. And I do the divination last. So I gather my supplies. So I have a book of shadows. I have a pen. I have usually a piece of parchment paper, and I have a little envelope because I like to write my intention down, seal it in the envelope, and then when the November 30th, when the full moon is in Gemini, I like to pull it out and review it and see how it went. So then I have my resources and I have decks. So I'm going to talk about journaling first. For journaling, I would, if you're still not sure what your intention is going to be, I would say, like, I love it too. I got the idea because I try to use everything in my boxes one way or another, either finding it a new home, actually using it, or like everything, the box, the bubble wraps, the strippies, the baggies, everything has to be used. So the envelopes were really nice because I can use that in that way. But for the journaling, I would say, what intention is calling you? What area pertaining to this energy in your life would you like to work on, needs help, or has been challenging for you? And what do you think? So for me, I ask myself, what do I think I can accomplish in this arena in the next 6 months? The truth is a lot. This is actually, communication is one of the primary things about my job. It's one of the primary things about my passion, which is this channel, which is sharing information, and working on a web page, and just getting this out. And there's a lot more content that I want to get out. And so this is something that I'm really thinking about. Of course, connecting with my family and my friends. These are all things that I would love to work on to really solidify. So once I have my intention, I like for my intention to be positive tense and present tense. So let's say, for example, I wanted to, let's go back to the studying example. I already finished, but let's say my final was June 8th instead of May 8th. I would say, I want to get an A on my pharmacology test. That's my idea that I want. And so my intention would be, I get an A. I have an A on my, it would be, I have an A on my pharmacology test. I have an A in pharmacology. That would be my intention, the way that I have it. I have an A in pharmacology. And then from there, I might do a candle in orange, or, maybe a light blue for that intention. I might do an affirmation spell, chanting, writing down something every day. I might light the candle when I study. I might do a specific incense or essential oil when I study, and then when I go into the test, put it on my temples, because smelling the same smell when you take the test as when you study helps you recall it, because smell is really integral to memory. Yeah, scripting. Walking myself through how I'm going to take the test and so on and so forth. That would be how I would build up the intention. So once you have the intention, to me, I feel like I have the work. Linking scent really, really works. And it's pretty subtle. If you have the same scent when you're studying and the same scent when you do the test, studies do show that it will. My fish is acting really odd. It will help you recall. So that could be your thing. Anyway, I recommend journaling. Find an intention. Some people start with a spell or a ritual that they have been inspired to do, and then try to fit their intention into it, and that's totally fine. And I do that on occasion. It's just not something I'm doing right at this moment, right? So from there, I would kind of plan out my evening, because Friday is a night that I work. And of course, there's some debate as to when the energy of the new moon is versus the dark moon. And it just depends on you. And I'll tell you what I believe, and I'll tell you the other belief. And honestly, I don't think it matters that much. I think a lot of it is psychological. But some people believe that the dark moon is the period of approximately 2 to 3 days when you cannot visibly see a moon in the sky. And that work is not waxing work. That work is introspective, shadow, dark, like Hecate time, right? Whereas waxing, new moon, growing, new beginnings, that's maiden time, right? So for me, the dark moon is literally the last couple days before the moon goes new, because the moon is waning. It's reaching that right little thing before it's going to start to wax again. And then, despite the fact that I cannot see it yet, I know through science that it's waxing. And so I feel comfortable doing my new moon work after the moon is waxing, regardless of if I can see it or not. That's just my personal opinion. And I do my dark moon work typically the night before the full moon. I like to do something then. Some people believe that you should not do your new moon or waxing work until the first little crescent is visible in the sky. It's completely up to you. That's just information for you to purpose however you want in your practice or in your God, not like your, just in your practice. Let's just leave it at that. I can't think of a different word. Help me, Gemini, with my communication skills. So for me, making a plan is very helpful. For you, it might just be better to be more organic, depending on if you have the time. I know that I'm going to work until at least 7. I won't be home until nearly 8. So anything that I have to squeeze in between dinner and being with my kid before bed has got to be like planned and direct. So I'm going to do an air spell. Very simple air spells for me are very, very simple. They just pertain to communication, breath, breathing, chanting, affirmations, singing, music. Those are air spell things. Sounds. You could even have smoke. Those are all air things. Totally fine. So I would do something like that, and probably divination and journaling. And that will be my new moon. I'll write my intention. I'll seal it up for the future review. And I will do the divination last. And I like to say, like, how is this going to come back to me? And so here are my decks. This is the Spirit de la Lune deck. I absolutely love this deck. I think it's out of stock right now. At some point, the printers will be working again, and so it will come back. But there's going to be, I'm going to find the things. Okay, so new moon, new beginnings. Hold on, I gotta find the cards that I want to work with. It's really pretty card too. Not blessing. Here it is. The honeymoon is productivity. Got a beautiful bee. I totally missed the the Gemini card. Gemini, the twins. So those are the energies that I need to be mindful of. That's how I use this deck. You can also do readings, but I really find this. I know I really like that they're round. So here's what they say about this moon cycle beginning on May 22nd. The honeymoon is productivity. Bees are buzzing and life is churning all around. The honeymoon is an active cycle for abundance, production, collaboration, and friendship. There are connections to be made. The honeybee may be your ally right now. Are you doing everything you can to make your life delicious and fruitful? Or are you working too hard? Allow the bees to show you the path to fulfillment. This is a productive time for you. Learn from the bees and follow your soul work. If you do not know where to begin, follow the magnetic pull to the flowers that ignite your passion. It could be an actual person you are drawn to or something you always wanted to learn. Pollinate and plant your soul seeds. Pollinate and plant your soul seeds. They will either grow and bloom or stay dormant until you're ready. But make sure you don't put all your eggs in one basket. There are so many paths to take to your destination. This is also a time to seek the support from your tribe. Collaboration could be the solution for your situation if you allow your ego to release the need to be the leader right now. It's a time of light, decision making, strengthening commitment, teamwork, bee medicine, and it's usually pretty close to the summer solstice, leading up to the summer solstice. So some ideas include becoming organized, work cooperatively and compromise, enjoy the fruits of your labor, strengthen your resolve, focus on your solar and heart chakras. Gemstones are bumblebee jasper, fluorite, honey calcite, ocean jasper, and pearl. And then we have the new moon card. In the womb of the new moon, I birth my dreams so that they can bloom. The new moon is the element of the lunar cycle, is the beginning of the lunar cycle, and is much like the element of air. You cannot see her, but you can feel her. Most of our desires and actions come from the subconscious part of the mind ruled by this full moon phase. The mind is a powerful tool to shift consciousness and how we perceive our lives. Now is the time to immerse yourself in the visions of your dreams and desires. You are beginning a new chapter in your life. How do you want this new cycle to unfold? What will be your new reality? In the darkness of the new moon, you are in the womb of your reveries. There are infinite possibilities in this gestation period as you rebirth. You are supported in this darkness of your subconscious. Allow your actions and intentions to stem from this place. You could also need to rethink your intentions in your situation. Remember your motivations. If you are not sincere or for the higher good of all, they will not fulfill your spirit in the long term. You may also be afraid to face the unknown and invite change. So write your intentions. You're entering a new chapter. Allow rebirth to take place. Swirl and be in the new possibilities. Run free with your imagination and open your third eye chakra. And then finally, Gemini, the twins. Ruled by Mercury, the Gemini twins represent the duality within and without. The feminine, masculine, and the shadow light energies all dwell in each of us. Which twin is speaking in you right now? This air sign invokes the mind and can bring out the social butterfly in you. Open-mindedness is the key for the twins to ride their mood swings and to receive the messages they need to hear. You feel pulled in many directions right now because there is a lot of external and internal dialogue at play. What are you listening to more? What is your spirit leaning towards? More social outings may be occurring, and this can be a wonderful opportunity to meet with like minds and express yourself. Or you may feel insecure and indecisive at the moment, and that's okay. Sleep on it for a few days. Try not to succumb to gossip and focus on listening or observing instead. And this reminds me of Abraham Lincoln. It's better to be silent and be thought a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. You may be surprised from the insights you learn. Read a new book or catch up with an old friend are good things to do in a new moon in Gemini. So really nice ideas. So I would definitely do these, look at those, and do a reading. And I also have my Queen of the Moon Oracle by Stacey Demarco. I like to look at the energies presented there. So the new moon is new beginnings. Walking through a doorway, right? Trying to find the right moon here because everybody calls it a different moon. So it's a hot moon, which I don't know why the hot moon comes so much earlier in the year. You burn them. They're gone. I mean, you can dispose of it however you want. You might bury it. You might dissolve it in water. You might rip it up into pieces and let it fly away off of a mountain. But I like to burn mine and keep the ashes for other uses. So this is according to Stacey Demarco, it's the hot moon cycles. I'm not sure that fits in my opinion, but let's just see what she says. I think this was like the only month that I was just like, what? The hot moon should be like August or July. No. So on the full moon, I'll pull out my intention and I'll determine if or not I was successful. Hi, Patricia. And what went well, what could have been better, and what, if anything, I want to do in the future. But I don't believe so. For me, the full moon is not the time to revisit that intention. It's really the time to say, like, how did it go? To review how things went. For me, I think almost everything is a success. And if it wasn't, it probably wasn't meant for you right now. So I often change course, but usually I will take that moon cycle to kind of dream on it, right? And then with the next new moon, I think almost everything that you're trying to accomplish requires some form of energy from the zodiac, because the zodiacs just represent 12 different archetypical energies, right? So let's say I made a goal to get a good grade, which I don't do. I only do long-term goals. Let's say I made a goal to get good grades in my classes and I did not succeed. At that point, I would say, well, what went right? And I would say, I've got this habit that's good. I've got this habit that's good. I've met these people that are really helpful. I was able to connect in this way. And then I would say, okay, but this, obviously I didn't accomplish this. How did I not accomplish this? And I would be like, well, I probably didn't study enough here. I probably didn't do that. And then why didn't I do the thing? Was it because I didn't have enough time? Was it because I didn't invest enough energy in myself? Was it because there was something going on worldwide that was completely out of my control? Whatever. And then at that point, I would say, okay, lesson learned. These are the things that I need to work on. If it's still something that I want to work on in the future, I would say, like, I would revise it with the energy of that time, which, let me see. The new moon in December is going to be Sagittarius, which is actually an excellent time because it's a good time for you to, Sagittarius is about education. So I could revise things that, like, I'm going to prioritize my education or whatever. But I would not go back and do the same intention again, at least not until like next year. I just don't, I don't think that seasonally it's the appropriate time. And that's just my assumption if things didn't go well. Most of the time, I think that my intention went exactly the way that it was meant to go, and that the things that came into my life were meant to support that work. But if I didn't do it, it was probably something else. I don't know. It's complicated. I would have to. I am gonna say, not to brag. I haven't had anything fail in longer than a decade, but I don't ask for stupid shit anymore, and I don't. I don't ever forget to put the work in. So if I open the envelope and I review it and it wasn't well, then that's a lesson that I need to learn. And ideally, it's a really good time because the moon will be waning. And you really need to do some shadow work about, like, did I ask the wrong question? Am I not investing? Like, what if something went wrong and it's not like a natural disaster, right? There's probably something that happened in you. And the waning moon after the full moon is a good time to do some inner work and see what happened. And then revamp yourself, right? So sorry I got on a weird tangent. I hope that answered your question, Leanne. That's what I would do. So what am I saying? I got really weird. I apologize. Yes, I sure did. I got weird. Oops, sorry. Okay. So, new moon, beginnings. You're offered a fresh start. Your journey is beginning. Take the first steps towards something new. It is time to place emphasis on your health and well-being. There's something incredibly poetic and even romantic about that tiny sliver of silver that is the new moon. After the waning cycle and death of the dark moon, here is appearing in the sky incredibly a crescent of the finest light. Almost a scratch upon the blackboard of the universe, here's the evidence that even after the darkest night, light returns again. The crescent of the new moon is an ancient symbol that stresses back to ancient prehistory. There are cave drawings featuring crescents, moon sculptures of goddesses with crescent moon diadems, and the goddess Aphrodite, Hecate, Diana, Artemis, Inanna, and many Central Asian female deities were often depicted with new moon symbology. Go back even further to Neolithic cave paintings where moon and sun. My God, my tortoise is just Homestar. Cut it out. My tortoise is like right here, squawking at me. When the new moon, where moon and sun symbology features with no phase more common being depicted than the new moon. When the new moon appears in the lunar cycle, we are gifted with a new beginning and a fresh start. What we have identified as useless or unneeded anymore has been released to the void of the dark moon, and here waiting is a new chance. Here we get to renew our lives and feel free enough to risk trying again. Whether we are asking for a fresh start in relationships or a new love, or heralding the actioning of intentions such as better health, a new business, or the start of a new project, riding the new moon energy will assist us. Many creative people start new works on a new moon, and I personally, as an author, like to begin all of my new works on this base, even if beginning simply means typing up a cover page or outline. The most powerful of new moons for new starts traditionally are within the season of spring. And then we have the hot moon. So this, to me, it just doesn't fit in this time of year, but let me read it to you. So it's a hot, like physically sweaty man. And I just don't identify with it at this time of the year, but hear me out. Extremes. Learn how to handle crisis with calm and resilience. Seeking balance is superior to seeking extremes. So balance does speak to, like, the Gemini. There are better ways to handle conflict than rage and outrage. There may be someone who seeks to disrupt your business or life in some way. This too shall pass. So most have experienced extremes of weather, boiling hot days with a freezing snow and ice. So that speaks a little bit more to it because it was really hot and then really cold. So maybe it's just like this last little transition. You certainly know you are alive because the sensation can be so overwhelming or stressful on the body. The hot moon appeared in the hottest time of the year, so no, where the days are longest and the rains less frequent. Similarly, we can experience extremes in life: deaths, job losses, relationship breakdowns, true fears, big conflicts, booms and busts, and yet this is life. Our situation, I'm going to grab him. Hold on one second. Home star. My goodness. Come here. Can you take him away? He's pissing me off. Look at this guy.
Take that guy away?
Yeah, take him away. God bless him. He's just like, rah, 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 rah. Here, go over here.
I'm not sure what that guy's doing.
He's not doing well. I'm sorry. Can you get him out?
Come on.
Oh my God.
Come on, Tortoise. Yeah, it's warm.
I know. It's so hot. No, because he needs to be that temperature.
Yeah, you got heat lamps. You don't need it.
Sorry, guys. Just a second.
There you go. There's some fresh air at least for you.
God bless you, homie. Anyway.
It's hot in here.
It's hot in here. Yeah.
I'm hot in here. I'm on fire.
Sorry. Anyway.
No, you can't. I don't want to eat out.
Similar. Okay. Our situation can change quickly for better or for worse. The hot moon challenges. How's he doing? Is his head straight yet? Don't lose that shell. It's attached to his belly.
Okay, I see.
Do you see how it's attached?
Yeah.
Is he still moist?
Yeah. Oh.
Give him a light spray, but be careful because it cools them down. Sorry, chick maintenance. Hi, Liberius. We just have chicks and tortoises acting out right now. The hot moon challenges us. I didn't move it.
Okay.
Kenyon, get out of the turtle's house.
But I'm stressed. I just want to feel nice here.
Oh, guys.
It's hot.
Rabble. Anyway, the hot moon challenges us to build our resilience and reserves of freedom and calm for those times where things are at their extreme. It reminds us that developing grace under pressure is worth its weight in gold and that even these extremes in time will pass. So not really what I think of. Where is Homestar? Well, he's a tortoise. He'll find his way. Not really what I think of for this time of the year. It's the only one that she has in here that I really disagree with. Let's look at. That's just some of them, Patricia. I have 2 turkeys, 8 geese, 8 ducks, and I don't know, at this point, including the chicks, 30 chickens. And a sun and a tortoise. Fish. Plants are in here too. It's a lot. Okay, so this is Moonology. I'm getting familiar with this one because it is new to me. So this is the new moon in Gemini. Okay, so they opened the window and now I can hear the road. I'm so sorry, guys. But this is real life. And so one of the things that I try to do is never cut out my family or cut out the bloopers, so to speak, from my videos, because I don't want people to think that magic is perfect. Magic is really real life, and there's messy parts and distractions and all this other jazz, and you still make it happen. Don't save it for some day when everything is perfect, because then you'll be just not doing anything. And it's better to do it when it's imperfect than wait for something that's not going to happen. So let's find the new moon card. Ooh, it's hot. New moon. And then we have our, so it's a new moon specifically in Gemini. And that's all the information that we need right now. So let's look at this. We've got some. So new moon. This is a yes coming your way. This is one of the most auspicious cards in the deck. It's totally positive and suggests something new and exciting is developing. The situation you're asking about is blessed and you are on target to achieve your goals. The message from the universe is that you're starting all over in some way. be that on a new or better course or just feeling more positive about achieving your desired outcome. If you've been feeling stagnant, this card reminds you that life goes in cycles and you're moving into a new cycle right now. This is the time to wipe the slate clean. If the situation you asked about has become toxic, either that will clear up now or something totally new and fresh is on its way. Attuned to the moon. I'll see it when I believe it. Additional meanings. A new start is on its way. You will soon start to feel more powerful about getting what you, or more hopeful about getting what you want. Your belief in that your dreams can manifest is working well. Forget the past. The new moon marks the start of the waxing cycle and the midpoint of the dark moon. It's a dark and veiled time when the moon is invisible and a time of rebirth. It's a time that witches do their work, making wishes and laying down intentions for the new cycle. An intensely magical time when it's easier to pierce the veil to other worlds. So good like that. So then we're going to look at specifically a new moon in Gemini. A successful relationship usually comes down to one thing, communication. And the new moon in Gemini card is all about the start of a new cycle for communicating with the person at the center of your question. Talking things through is the answer to whatever it is you're asking about. If you can't talk to the person, you can journal about it to yourself. Emails, text messages, and all other forms of communication will also help you now. If the issue you're asking about concerns a sibling or neighbor, there's a new start coming, a time to wipe the slate clean and start over. This card could also suggest you've been too frivolous lately and need to get grounded again. But most importantly, drawing this card emphasizes the need to communicate. So, write a list of all the people you love most and see if you're prioritizing them. That's a suggestion. Time to tell someone how you feel. Don't be all in your head and not in your heart. Someone is flirting with you. Read more books. Gemini is a sign of communication and socializing, of ideas and travel. And the energy around it and around this card, no matter when you pull it, is speedy, gossipy, and flirtatious. The new moon in Gemini is a wonderful time to get out and socialize. Gemini loves to chat. One thing to be aware of is that this card can also indicate being mentally scattered. Daily meditations will help unscramble crossed wires in your brain. Very, very good. I felt like this one was spot on. So I'm really liking this deck. And this is the Moonology Oracle cards. For my own personal work, I mean, you can go through your decks and see which ones have a recommendation for a new moon spread or working with that energy. For me, the Spirit Animal has a new moon spread, and I love it. I do it every new moon. And the Goddess Power Oracle also has one, and I do that as well. See what ladies are with me. The Black Moon Astrology. I've been using this card more for like information on astrological timing as opposed to actual like divination. So a lot of my cards are meant to clarify energies. And some I very rarely use for divination. So let's look at Gemini. Gemini, I think. Communication is key. Be versatile and quick at this time. You must also be mindful because people are talking. Gemini is a charming sign full of whimsy and fun and is ruled by the planet Mercury, named after the Roman god of wit and winged thought. Geminis are chatty and their minds are like quicksilver. Geminis prefer to do things first or fast, not because they're boisterous, but because they become bored with anything tedious and not immediately fun. Words are everything to a Gemini. They adore books but hardly ever read them entirely. What is most important to a Gemini is an exchange of ideas and communication. However, they like to discuss ideas but tend to be poor listeners. Geminis are fascinated by their own thoughts rather than the ideas of others. As Geminis are curious about everything, they tend to be experts on a number of different topics. They also love stories and gossip. Those intelligent minds should always be fed, whether with gossipy tales or the most erudite or philosophical pursuits. They like both. They usually have a small computer on their person to access social media and play games. This twin sign is one of the smartest in the entire zodiac. However, Geminis tend to be insecure in their views, so they change their opinions often. Geminis are not very patient, thus may not enjoy school that much, yet they thrive when studying something they are truly interested and invested in. Geminis have a fickle and dull nature. They change their minds on a whim. What is true for them today may not be tomorrow. They get easily distracted and are highly nervous. A more appropriate word is flighty, so attention disorders can crop up. A dual sign, Geminis are left-handed or ambidextrous. Geminis are extremely deft at making things with their hands. Gemini is the sign of the brain. They are always inventing, and also the eyes and the nervous system. Geminis have clear, bright eyes and that dart around, and they have broad foreheads. They are forever youthful, and as they are all air, Geminis are light on their feet. They do have passion, but sometimes they can't find it. This is my Black Moon astrology cards. Even so, this is a most charming sign, and Geminis have many friends and easily attract romantic partners who share their sense of fun. When this card comes up, you may be the object of discussion, or you may have to talk your way out of a sticky situation. Since communication is key with Gemini, you may find yourself involved with new forms of technology that help spread your ideas to a wider audience. Such technology would include cameras, computers, tablets, and the next big invention to come along. Writing may also figure in, such as creating a blog, writing books, or just being involved with books and publishing. You may find yourself either to be a skilled diplomat or asked to teach or give a speech. At the current time, you may find yourself to be highly strung, nervous, or excitable, as is the nature of Gemini, but still able to figure it all out with a probing mind. It may feel as if you're riding a high wind with a lofty energy. Multitasking may be required of you. Gemini is a sign of soulmates, corresponding to the Lover's card in the tarot. So this card can indicate an important romantic relationship has started or will figure in shortly. Oh yeah, definitely. Gemini card and breed. The mind and the brain, being of two minds, fluency, deafness, being clever while a little superficial, double talk, talking too much, giving out too much information, publishing, left-handedness, the hands, the fingers, the spinal cord, siblings, your immediate neighborhood, youth, twins, puzzles, games, learning and quick learning, school and involvement in education, mastering a new technology, computers, nervous conditions, being too highly strung to take any real lead, abandoning projects just before finish, leaving many things undone, restlessness and indecision, retail business and selling things, flea markets, used items, flirtations, friends as lovers, and lovers as friends. Key ideas: pay attention, be mindful, talk, write, explain, and be versatile. So that's the energy that we're working with here. And it's pretty, I mean, it's pretty good and intense. And I have a lot of ideas. I don't know about you guys, but I have a lot of ideas. I'm really excited because it kind of goes with the plans that I have. Many of you know that I'm in the process of setting up a website to go with this YouTube channel, so I can kind of like share more content. And I've also been changing the content a little bit. And so I hope you guys have been enjoying that. Oh, peeps. I got a little peeper over there. And yeah. Does anybody have any ideas for what they're going to be doing for the new moon in Gemini? I'm just going to pull this up on my phone because sometimes my phone is faster than my computer with comments. Oh, I can't always read. Oh, studying. What are you studying for, Leanne? What is the website? Oh, it will be hound.hollow.com. Oh, there's a commercial when you watch my video. Cute. Hope that doesn't bother you guys. Oh, nice. That's fun. And so you guys have like a study requirement before you join? Yeah, my phone is way faster because I saw that. That's really cool, Leanne. Sorry, you're distracted by my kid. All right, awesome. Have you been enjoying them? This is a really good time for studying and learning and communicating, making new friends. I mean, we've just spent an hour and 20 minutes talking about that, so this is a really great time. So it's really auspicious. This is a good time for you to be doing what you're doing. That's awesome. I love it when everything works out that way. So that's going to be really fun. I think I'm going to also do a candle as well. Oh, you're so sweet. Yeah. That's wonderful. I plan on doing a lot of releasing old energies this season. I realize that I've been overwhelmed at work lately and I want to stay grounded again. Very good, Liberius. You guys are both studying, so that's awesome. I'm not sure what you're studying, Leanne, but herbalism is really, really good, Liberius, and it's the perfect time of year because I like everything is alive. Everything's growing right now. So that's at least in the northern hemisphere. So very cool, very good times. It is also a good time for releasing that what doesn't serve you. That's one of the first things that I read. It's just like Geminis are versatile. So if it's not working out, change it up. So it's a good time for that too. When I do my air spell, I'm going to make sure to add candle magic too. And always incense and always the ofrenda. So we always do that as well. That's really exciting. I try to also study and learn every day too. So as you know, I've been working through my almanacs. Oh no. So my page that was marked accidentally got unmarked. So let me see if I'm working through this one right now. And it's got good information. I like these a lot. They have good information. And then once I'm caught up on all my almanacs, I will probably decide on a book to start reading. I have so many I need to catch up on. And so hopefully once I start reading books, I will share some reviews. Awesome. I've never been in a coven, so I'm not sure what different course materials required for initiation, but I have read several different coven-oriented books, and it varies. Awesome. That's what's up, Leanne. If it's time, it's time. Try something new. Get out of your boundaries. It's good to like have the same foundational information as your peers. I hope that they still encourage free thought and new ideas for personal growth. I've never been called to practice with others. So I'm just kind of selfish. Want to do things my way. But it definitely sounds like an interesting experience. I wish there was more public rituals near me so I could at least maybe attend one and get the feel for a group ritual. Oh, yeah. Yes, definitely. I love pantheons. Well, it depends. I usually get really into one and then just like go with it, and then get really into a different one and then go with it. So that's really neat. Liberia's, if I was going to do a releasing, I would definitely do it on the waning side, but that's up to you. Yeah. Yes, that is. That's how you spell my name. I read a really, really good article that I've been thinking about because I was sitting with the chicks. I gotta go check on that little chick here in a second. And it was again reiterating what I had been thinking about a lot lately. And it's the need for sacrifice, devotional work. One is yellow, one is black. This one's like a gray. It's not doing so well. Let me see if I see how it's doing. Ah, my butt's too big. So it's still hatching, but it's like, okay. So the thing is, like, they hatch really slowly, slower than you think, and their bodies are stuck to the bottom of the shell. So you can't force it or else it'll die. So you got to just be patient. This one does not have strength to lift its head yet, but I'm hoping that's temporary. So this one's like a light. Oh my goodness. This one's like a light gray. That would be good. Yeah. If I was going to do a dark moon spell, I would do it in the few days leading up to it. Ooh, that sounds fun. Yeah, I do too. I don't know if he's gonna make it though. His little head is just very like dangly. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, little baby. Oh, we got some. Okay, I'm holding you. So, there's that. I do. I love them too. Oh, Dad, how's Pee doing?
Hopefully she's tired.
She's tired. Remind her where the water is and the food. Is she okay?
Yeah, she's tired.
Here.
She'll be okay.
Hey, can you close this window? It's really loud. And where's Homestar?
She's in her room.
Okay. And then can you put this baby back in the bed and just kind of like give it a light spritzing? It's got some crunchy spots. I don't know if it's going to make it. It doesn't. Here. Make sure that it's still attached to that shell. So keep it together.
This one?
Yeah, maybe. It needs a little bit of moisture though, so give her a little spritz. Just that one, not the dry one. And also, I hope she doesn't peck his little soft part. Sorry guys, I'm getting distracted. What were we talking about? So, upcoming things. So hopefully, the eggs that are closed don't need to be sprayed. Why? We don't have a brooder, so we're doing like at home chicken brooding, and there's like things that you have to consider such as temperature and humidity, and so we can't agree. Anyways, so there should be another practical magic coming up on air magic, which is something I've really been interested in how other people are doing it. It's something I do often, obviously, because I do a lot of speaking, and it's been very intriguing to me. Also, I'm waiting for a box. I should be getting the Moon box by Gaia Initiative. And then from there, I'll be doing my side-by-side of all the boxes that I got that were under $20. At some point before the end of May, there will be a giveaway, so stay tuned. The next episode of Waste Not Want Not is about boxes, and that will be coming out before the end of May. I just did a poll asking you guys what kind of content you wanted to see, and I put in different things that I had planned to do on my website and unboxings, and people still, by a narrow margin, would like to see different boxes. So I am going to be purchasing 5 boxes in the $20 to $29 range. I know, I'm excited. It's definitely something I've been looking at for a while. So we'll see how it goes. So the $20 to $29 boxes are going to be coming up over the next probably 4 to 8 weeks. It just depends on their personal cycle. And I think that's actually, quite a bit. Of course, I'm still trying to catch up on my deck reviews. And so I still have actually quite a few decks that I haven't done a deck walkthrough of. And so that will be on there. There'll, of course, be the monthly side-by-side for the month of May with all the boxes that I get and have gotten. So we can do like a little comparison. I think next week I'll be live in a special way, but stay tuned for that announcement. And then on the 31st will be another live for Get Ready With Me for the full moon in Sagittarius. So that's going to be really fun. I think that's it for my plans for content. Again, I always love your guys' feedback on content or like what you like to see on my channel. I love unboxings, so don't worry. Yeah, I love organization. It's kind of, I have a stellium in the 6th house, which is like service and organization. And it really shows. So I definitely have a lot of ideas, and if you guys have ideas of what you want to see, I'd love that. Some of the stuff that I'm going to be sharing on my webpage is how I stay organized, like my planners, my journals, my bullet journal, which I did some on YouTube, but I just don't think that for me, I'm not tech savvy enough to make those really beautiful bullet journal videos, but I think it will look nice on my website because it'll be pictures. And I do think that my bullet journal is nice looking. I mean, it is to me. Yours doesn't have to look just like it. So what is it? Other things that I'm thinking about. This is my spiritual Lune. Yeah, that's actually coming up for boxes. And so boxes are actually pretty easy because you can use them for so much. So like of course I ship with them. I store things in them. You can plant plants in them, start your starts in them. I don't want to go too much into it because then I'll give away the video. But it's definitely great for storage. It's great for so many things. Composting, keeping weeds out of your garden. There's really no reason to throw it away, is my personal belief. I do understand that some people live in smaller areas, and so obviously keeping like 400 boxes. It's not 400, 40 probably boxes in your closet is probably not going to work. And when I do get to that point, I put an ad on Craigslist and just say, hey, if you need boxes for shipping, I have some, and people will come and get them. And then I've given something to help somebody else out, and I didn't waste it. And so now you know the whole video library is, but still watch the video because to support my channel. Oh, I've been working on organizing myself. So every month I've been doing a collection video, but behind the scenes, I've also been really organizing my, you're so sweet. I've been really organizing my, my witchy collections by function and type, and really putting a definite, like, this is when I got this, and this is an idea of how to use it, so that I can really practice more, not feel so overwhelmed, not feel so disorganized. And so one of my goals for this week is organizing my ritual oils and sprays. I'm probably not going to do that as a collection video for June, though, because I did that last year already. And I'm going to do some new things before I go back to the things that I've already reviewed. But it's long overdue because in every box that I get some kind of magical liquid. But I have a new idea for using them up. And aside from giving them away, I usually put them in my giveaways. I put them in baths. I mean, I do things with them. It's just there's so many. But one of the things that I was thinking to repurpose the jars, yeah, I have ritual oils, ritual perfumes, sprays. One of the things I was thinking to put in the jars that I have cleaned out is buying fresh beeswax and candle wicks, and melting the beeswax, adding the oils to really like create a very specific candle. Put a little herbs on top. Maybe I'll look at Anita Marie's page and just put little things on there for me and burn it in my house. So then I'll use some of the oils, and I'll repurpose the jars, and the beeswax will just, and the wick, they just get used to nothing. Oh, thank you, Leanne. I really tried to share good practical information. I don't think I'm the most aesthetically pleasing witchcraft channel. I've seen some beautiful videos elsewhere, but I do feel like I've got an idea for everybody. So I think that's pretty helpful. So that's going to be my goal for the next week, is to get them organized, get them put up, get them all together in one spot. I was working with a guy to get beeswax. Oh, thank you. I was working with a guy to get beeswax, but he wants me to buy it in bulk. So he wants me to buy 35 pounds for $175, which is an amazing price. It's here. It's from my valley here. Thank you, Leanne. It's just that, like, I don't know if I'm ready to dive in the deep end of beeswax candle making. So I'm just like, I told him I would think about it, but I think I'm going to order a smaller kit first and see how my first experiments go before I really dive into that. Yeah, Laberius, it does. I mean, it's just like, I got to use it somehow. That poor chick is peeping. Oh, sorry. When I don't have kids and animals, it's so awesome. Oh, I always have kids and animals. I'm sorry. I'm also working on the website. I've got deck walkthroughs coming up. Let's see. Once I organize the ritual oils and sprays, so I've got all my candles organized. I've got all my bath items, so my bath salts, my scrubs, my soaps, all of them organized. So this planner is full size, paper size, and then this one is small. So these ones, I don't really put the bulk of my planning in. These ones are just like a date planner. So this one has like what I'm doing for the channel. So like get ready with me, plant magic air, weekly polls on Wednesdays. So it's very similar. And then as I make notes and ideas, I put them over here. Oh, that's really smart. Awesome. Yeah, and I sometimes do that too. What I have so many friends that it's hard for me to watch everything, and so if I'm in a crunch for time, I will go back and I will try to watch at least one video from each of my friends. Um, and I think that is better than watching 5 videos, but of my most prolific friends, and then my other friends, don't get any love. So I'm trying that, especially on my days of work. Oh, that's smart, Leanne. There's so much good content out there. I mean, I feel like whenever you get to this content, whenever you get to my live, whenever you get to my videos, whenever you get to connect with me on Facebook or Instagram, whenever it is that you see me, that is when you were meant to. And that I'm not holding it against you if you don't make it to my lives. It's okay if my lives have one person. It's okay if my lives are very popular. I'm doing it to get the information out there, and I know a lot of people are busy and have schedules, and my time doesn't work necessarily with their time, and so they will get to it when they get to it, and that's totally fine. It's when it's meant for them. So I don't know what I'll do after ritual oils and spray. I think it's going to take up the whole bottom. And to be honest, I really probably should start working on my jewelry next, because my jewelry collection, my magical adornment collection, is probably the most profusely overdone ever. And I really got to work on that. I have some beautiful items that I'll never part with because they're very meaningful or they were gifted to me. But I have so many items that are actually very similar to other things. So I think that's going to be my collection for June, and maybe a giveaway. So stay tuned. The weekly polls, if you guys ever get to do them, they're just like, I'm just trying to gauge what you guys want to see and what to do. And so it's a nice way for me to like connect and make sure that I'm making content that you guys like. And I have so many ideas coming, but I got to take care of these chicks. We've got to cook dinner, and I'm actually got another project going for. Oh, that's a good idea, Leanne. A beauty altar would be really, really cool. And maybe if you can find like a little space in wherever it is that you do beauty, that would be great. For me, it would probably be, if I were to do something like that, it would be a little shelf in the bathroom. Because that's where if I'm going to do anything with this whole situation happening here, it's going to be there. All right, perfect. And also, you guys, if you are not, I have a Facebook page for Hound Dog Hollow where I post the links for the videos every day. And I also have a group. It's not very big, but myself and Angie Cox and Interstellar Aura, so Satrina, has been working on putting content on there regularly every day. So it's really fun. I would definitely check it out. It's Hound Dog Hollow group and Hound Dog Hollow page on Facebook. And of course, I know many of you follow me on Instagram, Hound Dog Hollow. And when the website's ready, I will do a big reveal. But so stay tuned for that. And that way, I think in the future, before I get ready with me, you will be able to, I hope, have something to print out to maybe work through. So stay tuned for that. That's what's coming. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for participating. I hope you have a wonderful new moon in Gemini, and I hope you share. Most of you are on my Facebook or my Instagram, and I would love to see pictures if you feel comfortable. Because, again, magic is very personal, and it takes a while to build up rapport and energy to be feeling free. And comfortable enough to share those kind of things. And I hope to cultivate a space here where we can do that. Anyways, thank you so much, Leanne. Let me see. Hold on, Leanne. There you go. I love you guys. Have a wonderful night. I'll update you guys on the chicks if you want. Just let me know in the comments. And love you.